First, I have to put some welding wire in there to get the motor up there, this motor, rather. So we are going to be working on doing that now. So let's give this a shot. Got some new welding wire. And yes, YM, it is gasless flux core. So that is for the win. Poke that guy out of there. And then also ended up have the little wheel if I could. I believe it comes over the top. Anybody knows how to do this. Aluminum. All right, so maybe I shouldn't have cut that yet. Oh, I could put it through there. Do odds and ends of this guy. It's like the welder that won't give up. But what's up, bossy? So, if you're still here, I'll tell you what I just checked out. I think I lost you for a minute there, but so basically, I have to get the welder working because Rich has his other welder. But I've switched to this because I was given the saw motor, and I don't know if you saw that, but I pulled it out of this saw right here, a Harbor Freight. And so this motor is going to go up like, well, mounted backwards like that. So then in line with the chain. And what's up, Tenma? How are you? So then to get this thing working, I have now a deep cycle battery with an inverter. So I'm plugging the saw into here, and then I'm converting the battery from 12 volt to 120 right there. So that's the plan. And then I'm basically going to remove the on-off switch, unless I just patch it in there. But I have a rheostat, and so I'm gonna have to figure out how to make that work with a push the buttons over here. I don't mean to push. So I'm gonna push that in, or I'm gonna install the rheostat because this is all that I have on the saw motor. So it's just on or off. So I have, in my truck, I actually have a rheostat. So I'm gonna check that out. But it worked. So in my last live, I got it working. I thought it wasn't working. I just forgot to plug in the saw. Like an idiot. But, so I got that. And then I just need to weld the motor onto this. So that's my plan today. And then I'm gonna build a battery tray out of some of the stuff that Rich has. So then I can put the battery underneath here on the frame. So it's gonna tuck right in here. And so I'll have the positive and negative on one side, and then I gotta figure out where to mount the inverter. So either like a rear fender or something up front. Cool thing about this setup is that I can actually put on anything else that plugs in if I want. So headlight I can plug right in, stereo. I think that's kind of cool. It's fairly large, and I would venture to say beefy for this setup, but I think it's gonna work just fine. So in the meantime, it's yeah, we're gonna figure out what else do I need to do to, I mean, realistically, I think that just having a plan, because the problem is the clutch setups that I kept ordering were not working. And I don't know if that's just because it's eBay or China, but I ordered 3 of them and none of them worked. So I don't know if it's me, but I sent 2 of them back and now it's like, well, do I want to do it a 3rd time, basically? So now I got to get the little welding wheel thing that feeds they'll feed the wire in there. Although I have to tighten this up right quickly. What's up, GHDD channel? How's it going? Okay, so you may need to change sprocket sizes so the gear ratio doesn't pull too many amps from the inverter, which might not be adequate in the first place. The motor as well might have the torque you need, might not work. I know, I was wondering that, so that's part of my, I can take it back, so I still have the box and the receipt and all that. So that is my first concern, is that it will spin this, but that doesn't mean it's gonna spin the whole weight of the bike. And so I don't know what your thoughts are there, but that's kind of my thought as well, is I might draw too many amps and the inverter may, I've used the bigger one for doing like fairly substantial things, so I know that there is more if I need it. But yeah, in terms of, is this enough? I don't know, man. That's a great question. So I don't know how much tension is supposed to be on this guy, but so yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Tenma, how have you been? What's up, Emmy? How's it going? You like the gloves? Bossy likes the gloves as well. First couple times he was watching me, he chewed me out. He's my safety inspector now. But I'm not doing, well, I don't know. I wouldn't venture to say I'm not doing anything that stupid, because I still got some ideas, guys, so we'll see. All right, so I gotta find that wheel. It goes down here. How much do you guys? Oh, what did he say? If you look on Amazon, they have really cool electric bike kits for sale. Simple to set up. Would be a good project for you and Justice. Yeah, that probably would be. I am wondering if did I bite off too much on this thing, but I don't know. I'm excited to see if it works, just out of curiosity, because if that's the case, it'd be far cheaper. Well, I guess depending on the e-bike, but we'll see. Maybe my cost is indicative of he's making fun of me, if you couldn't tell. But we do need simple. Although, Bossy, the other bike is sold, and so now it's time to, okay, here's that guy. Now it's time to move on to the next project, which I might be picking up today. And so, we'll see. So what is this point? Of course I didn't look, but I think it's the bigger one. 4, 5, 30. Where did I get the wrong size? All right, so let's see what we could do. Yeah, definitely. What's up, William and Truth? How are you? Emmy, I'm going for the Viking status. Although I may cut my hair here shortly. You're excited too, you look one up. Yeah, yeah, we sold the scooter because Justice was like, Dad, I want to make it faster. I want to put my Predator engine on there. And I was like, dude, like let's get rid of it. Well, we actually ended up getting a pretty solid offer in my opinion. I don't know what you think that thing would have been worth. But I'm kind of curious. He sold my was-to-be car. I'm calling the cops. I did actually. I sold the Honda. Bossy, is that the link? Bossy, do you mind emailing me that? Because I think if I click it on my phone, it's just going to take me there. Oh, well, thank you, Emmy. I appreciate that. Bossy, why didn't you say hi to me? Electric motor, 12 volt, 250 watt, 2750 RPM, high speed engine, kit bike conversion. That's not too bad. Mine has more power though, I think. I think it's 250 watt. I think it's 1500 watts and 12 volts. So I think it's 1800. Or is it 1000? Because is it 120 volts or is it 12 volts? All right, there's my welding tip. And then let's get this bad boy. I think I might need this plugged into. Look at that one. The first one is 48 volt. This one's 12. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back in the chat after we're done. So I'm getting this welder fired up again because we robbed some of the parts out of it for Richards. And now what we're doing is, so earlier, do you guys want me to show you the inverter fire up the saw motor, or do you want to wait? I think YouTube shut me down because I had like 0 views. So they're like, yep, we're shutting this guy down. Look at that one. The first one is 48 volt. This one is 12. The kit is 100. So what do you think? You think it's going to be too much load on this inverter? Because when I looked it up, the max, so I'll show you. It has a 4,000 watt peak current. So I learned how to match up a little bit of this right here. So what my assumption was is looking at this, where did it go? 120 volt, 15 amp. So that's 1800, right? Watts. So yeah, hopefully Ahmed did buy his PPE. But Ahmed's car is gone, so I'm sorry, Ahmed. I feel kind of bad, but the good news is there will be another one. So I think I'm picking that one up today. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that motor right here. So here's what it looks like up there. I think it's gonna work, man. And if it doesn't, the question is if it doesn't, so it's a faster motor. This is a bigger motor than a lot of the other e-bikes, I think. But it's a saw, so I don't know. Bossy and I are theorizing about if this is gonna be too many amps on that inverter for what I have. But the good news is I got the replacement plan. So if I destroy it, I could take it back, and then we'll put the bigger, we'll just go up a step. So we're gonna do some science. And then I have this switch that I actually have a rheostat for, so let's go get that. So that, if it does actually pull as many amps as it says it does, it may have the torque you need when paired with a low enough gear ratio. Okay, so what do you think about what about the gearing? Is that gear too high? Like, I don't know. I guess the good news is that these are everywhere. So here's what I got for the, I'm gonna figure out how to mount that with like a little paddle on it for my thumb, and then like a spring to pull it back. So we'll see, but that's on the docket as well. So I got a couple things that I can do. I guess I'll just put that down there by it, but you wanna know something crazy? I have absolutely no idea what you and Bossy are talking about. Okay, so Ahmed, there's different, when it says this 120, that's the voltage that it needs to operate for this saw. That's how many amps it's gonna draw. So that's basically, how do you explain this, Bossy? So this is like the standard coming out of like a normal, like the plug on the wall over there. But when you have a battery, this battery only puts out 12 volts. So, yes, a dimmer. Well, I was like, it should work, right? Because if it works, I mean, that's on 120 volt, right? So I was looking and I was like, okay, well, if this lines up with, so where did it say? I know I read it on there. So what happens, Ahmed, is this device back here, this silver box, it's called an inverter, and it converts battery, 12 volt, to 120 that comes out of the wall. So as you can see, those red and black wires just go directly to the inverter from the battery. But on the front, we have what look like household plugs. Well, so you need more electricity. I don't know if I do. This is, I mean, I could. This is pretty good size marine. It's like an RV battery, so it's built for this type of stuff. Well, some lights work with a dimmer and some don't. A motor, I'm not sure. Okay, so here's what I was looking at. 100, I thought I saw in here it was 15 amp and 100. See, that's the problem, is I know enough to be dangerous. Okay, so I think maybe it was on the actual. But yeah, 120 volts down here. Oh, but I do see 600 watt max. Does that mean I'm gonna, while some specialized AC motor controllers can be used, a basic dimmer switch designed for lighting is not compatible with motor applications. Google says. Okay, so, well, that's where it gets interesting, because the saw motor is probably not meant for scooters either, but let's see, because does it say? so let's get into the science department. All right, so this could go back too. Unless I fry it, then it's probably not ethical to do so. Maximum load. I think you're right. 600 watts for a single device. So yeah, this bad boy's probably gonna pop, isn't it? So, what do I need? Before I fry this thing. I guess we could still use the on-off switch to a degree, right? Or you think that that's too much amps to just... I guess we're gonna hammer it anyways, right? So... why did I get it? Or is that tan? That's white. All right, so that might be a fail. I might be hitting points of failure here. I might have got the wrong size wire for that little wheel in there. Let's actually see what this says. And did I bring that? Did I bring the tip? Feeling like I'm prepared or lacking preparedness. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we got over here. This is a lot of running to the store, especially, I mean, we had everything set up and Rich had to move. So I was like, well, dang it. But it's all good. We will prevail. All right, so, let's just double check this, but I think I need a welding. Where's my Sharpie at? I think those might have been removed as well. Let's see what wire we have, what tips we need. I almost bought one and I was like, no, I haven't. And of course I don't. Why would I? Where did Rich go? Rich, I believe Rich has mended things with his wife. Cutting where we were doing the electrical work on his truck. So maybe I really recommend looking at kinds different. Those on Amazon, you can get all different kinds and they're cheap and connect all the wires. And as the Canadians say, hoe out for a rip, bud. Still cantaloupe air to see how this goes through. Oh, can't wait to see how this goes through. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, so I think we need a welding, just the tip. We need a dimmer switch that's much more capable. I thought maybe I read the wrong one and I grabbed a different one. Probably because I was gonna save $2. But I could take that back. What is, oh, yeah, that was quite the typo. It's like when I'm doing voice text, man, and it's just like goes wild. So let's make sure that maybe I think we got Rich the bigger wire, and then I'm gonna venture to say that this could also be it wants to unravel itself like crazy. I think I made assumptions or my focus was broken when I was excited about doing this. So, hey, that marker, permanent. It's just a pen. Toxic, stop being a baby. I used to love smelling paint when I was a kid. All right, 0.35. I thought you could flip these around and they had the other one. Okay. 0.3 and 0.45. Why does it say point? Why does it have two numbers on there? Do you guys know? It says 0.03 and 0.04. Is it a range? So this is 0.35, so I'm just gonna get that one. Dimmer. I don't know if I got that at Walmart or where, but okay. Dimmer, that. Three things. Golly, the fun never stops, does it, with projects? Millimeter wire, yeah. I'm wondering if it's a range though, because most of them you can pull it off, turn it over, and put it back on, and it will work. Yeah, but it's like on the one that Rich has, unless it's just because it's newer and they figured out, oh, people need these wheels. You just pull it off and flip it around. Which he knew that trick and I didn't. I'm not gonna say that I'm like the world's greatest welder or anything, as we all know. But, all right. So, to weld, I need to cut. I have my grinder, so I can throw away some trash. All right, guys. So, what I think that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap up. But wait, so you want to stick the light bulb? No. You want to see it work real quick? Ahmed, you need a respirator with a gas filter cartridge when working with solvents or paint off gassing petroleum fumes. Actually, a lot of those fumes are pretty strong. Not gonna lie though, I do love the smell of gasoline. Diesel, not so much. But, okay, so what do you guys think? Do you want to see this fire up before I roll out of here? See what I'm talking about? Or are you guys going to come back here in a minute? But that might actually give you some insight into if this will work. Although I'm not overly concerned because I think I can just get a bigger switch. But here's the other thing I do wonder about, Bossy, is look at the, okay, so look at the wiring on this, because that's definitely not the same gauge. Well, it is actually pretty thick. What is this? This is a 1.5 horsepower, 12 amp. That's a pretty serious switch, actually. 125 volt to 250 volt. So maybe does Harbor Freight sell one of these in like a format that, all right. So I gotta go get tools or supplies. I gotta go get these, the dimmer, the welding tips, and I put the dimmer twice. What else was it? Oh, the little welding, what do you call that thing? This. So, what is that called? Wheel. All right, so yeah, it is slightly complicated. You might want a fuse in there, but as far as I know, they only make breakers for 120. Okay, so they do actually have, they have this, which I'm gonna leave that in there. I don't know if that's some sort of breaker. What does it say? I can't really see it in the 15 amp, so that's what I need. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave that in there. But I do think that I should swap that other piece out. But yeah, let's rock and roll so that we're not burning up our daylight. Yeah, that is. Okay. So I thought it was resettable. It was just on the front of the saw. So like if you're cutting something too thick and you blow it. So that's my game plan. So what I'm gonna do is, I guess this is ready. Just go to the store with my gloves on, with my PPE. Now you can't get me to stop wearing it, bossy. And let's see. I think I'm just gonna leave this set up. So we got, but yeah. So the Honda sold. I'm actually thinking about doing a little camper build out for an old panel van. What do you guys think about that? And I'll be right back for this. So that's kind of my thought. And then we also have, right? Guy said it wants to run, but it doesn't run. It gets better. But it's struggle busing. So put you guys up there. So yeah, it's struggle busing. It seems like maybe the carb needs to be clean. I don't know. I work on campers for a living. Oh, badass, dude. That would be awesome. So this is like 1980 panel van. It looks like, well, it was like a sprinkler truck, I think, something like that. But yeah, let's see if you guys can hear me if I plug in my phone. Might get, tell me if you can't hear me. What do you, are you like, you do all the mechanical on them? But yeah, that would, I'm supposed to probably help. Oh, you can, okay, cool. I think it's, although now it's hooking up to my stuff, actually. It says it can hear, but, all right. Your stream cut out when you were driving though. Okay, well, I could pop back on so I don't waste your guys' time, because I am on the move. But let's, I'll pop back on here, probably be like 20 to 30 minutes, and we'll get back on the stream. But I am, unless I go pick up that vehicle, so it is stable. Okay. If it gets too choppy, let me know, and I'll cut out, because I don't want it to be annoying, but there we go. All right, get him. So what are you guys up to today? Hanging out? I was gonna do church, but I listened to my Bible study online. I wanted to get to the scooters. I had to go let my buddies You guys know Avery. I had to let his dogs out. He's back though. We're close. So now we're just trying to get a saw to power up a bicycle. What about you, Bossy and Ahmed? Did you guys do anything? I should let you guys see if we can see the mountains. See those? Looks pretty small in the video. I'm gonna have to flip around here. Alright, so the second Eid is near. Do you know what we do in it? No, I don't. I'm curious though. Beautiful country. Yes, Colorado is gorgeous. That's for sure. I am blessed to live here. It can get a little bit dry and brown, but it's starting now to get more green. It's very beautiful, especially like as you drive up through the mountains. It's pretty cool. That's why I put my sunglasses on so you couldn't see what I was doing. Gotta definitely watch while I'm going on the roundabout. I'll tell you what, that Honda wanted to do a hard right, like not even doing the torque steer, so it's like I don't even have to get on it, and it wanted to steer into the curb. I had to have my eyes on the road for that thing. We sacrifice a sheep or a sheep. You know what's interesting is my buddy, the unbeliever, we talk about that because it is weird to me that you think about all of the blood sacrifice within like the Bible, religion, all of that, like even, you know, looking at Jesus Christ, it was a blood sacrifice, which is interesting to me. So it's like I've been digging deeper down on that. And so, because there's a lot of people that, I don't know. And that part too is like, yeah, it does seem like very, what'd you call it? Barbaric, maybe to a degree. But at the same time, it's like, is it just because it was normalized? I don't know, I felt like that was interesting. So I had a 91 Accord. So I had a couple of shorts up on it, where I was fixing I was actually giving it for free, and she said I could do whatever I wanted with it. So what I really wanted to do was to put like a big V8 in it and do either like rear or all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and put almost like an Audi RS6, but like the redneck edition. And I was like, that's gonna be badass, like a little bit of blah 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 blah. I even had Rich gave me a spoiler. I was gonna put the spoiler not on the back, I was gonna put the spoiler on the bottom of the front where it should have been in the first place, like kind of like a Pikes Peak Escudo, if you know what that is. A cheap. Sheep is S-H-E-E-P. Amen. Unless you're messing with me. Yeah, but there's a difference. We didn't offer it to God. We offer it from and to God. The story of Abraham and his son. It's actually interesting you say that, because that was the same parallel that I was listening to in my Bible study, talking about how that was the point, is that God would provide the offering, which inadvertently he offered his own offering, which was his lamb, which is crazy. the Pikes Peak Escudo, the God car. Yes. So you played a lot of Gran Turismo too, I take it. The thing could get airborne on, what was the track? Because they even used it in the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie Gran Turismo, which I'm assuming now you have, but that thing had a massive wing on the back though too. Yeah, you're right. So I was thinking at some point, if I did get that project done, I was gonna put a monstrous wing on it just to mess with people. I was like, how cool would that be? Like, make that sucker like 5 feet tall and then just massive amounts of downforce. If I could get the funding, I probably would try to drive something like that upside down. I know that you have to go relatively fast, but that would be a fun science experiment. Yeah, don't worry, I'll send you a video when we sacrifice it. Okay. I am curious how you do it. My buddy Nate had a little farm. Well, I don't know how little it is. He had like 400 animals, but it was, yeah, watching him kill the chickens was interesting. Like, kind of turn them upside down, and it would like mess with them, like almost make them like mesmerized or sedated to a degree. But I feel like it's either windy or maybe because I gotta have a lot of weight in the back of the truck. It feels like it's like wanting to go all over the place. So that thing, yeah, okay. Cadillac CTS, maybe a CTS V. Do you know what that is, Ahmed? The V8 with the supercharger. That would be cool. So I definitely need a pickup, but Justice, I don't know if you guys saw that short, but Justice wants to get my, I want to get rid of the Raptor, and just get some cheaper vehicles, until I get the financial planning business like put back, well, I mean, it's pretty much put back together, but I would like to produce a lot more income before I'm spending money on frivolous things. But yeah, the CTS-V is badass. Like even the wagon, that would be cool though too, to even do something like make the Escudo version of the CTS-V. I don't know how that turned out, but I would do it. I would I would get crazy with my Cadillac. Your dream car is a Jeep Wrangler. So you like adventures. Is that what you like? Or do you like working on cars? Because you would be working on it all the time. My youngest brother had a Wrangler, and he would always work on it too. He put a V8 in there. That was pretty cool. Well, he had a shop, put the V8 in there. But still cool. A Golf Escudo. That'd be great. What power plant would we put in there if I did that? Some of the new Golfs are actually pretty impressive, but and would we go mid-engine? I actually had a 1984 Honda Civic when I first was starting to drive. That thing was pretty bad. I definitely enjoyed that. Get an old VR6. You want me to learn how to work on some German stuff, huh? I had an Audi for a little bit, and I worked on a GTI, and these cars are a little more challenging. I don't know, like some of how they do things are just a little peculiar. You guys want to go into the store? No.